All right. Welcome to episode 1 of the NFE live stream. And for those of you who have an overly specific sense of humor and appreciate an obscure literary reference, obviously this is going to be a show where I provide answers, and we have to figure out what the questions are going to be. So let's get started. I think for this first show, what I want to do is just address, I think for this first show, what I want to do is just make a show about what I want to make a show about. And as funny as that sounds, I think I need to start with how surprised I am that you guys have chosen to follow my path through FPV as closely as you have. I've just been building the things that I want to fly and making things fly the way that I want them to fly, the same as anybody else. And next thing I know, the Alien Whip Zero's out there, and some of you guys are hooked on that, and boss frames are out there, and people are printing them at home and developing a love of brush micros again, and subscribers are rolling into this YouTube channel. There's almost 1,000 of them now, and I don't know, I haven't made any new content in like 6 months. I kind of feel like it's a junior high school dance, and the DJ threw on some hip hop, and the crowd just went whoop, and is all circled around me, like waiting. What are you gonna do next, NFE? I don't really know. I don't fly well enough to become a popular mainstream pilot. I don't have the showmanship or time or an interesting enough life to start, entertaining you guys with epic vlogs, or anything like that. But I guess I've accumulated some information that I've found helpful to me in my progression through FPV and through the hobby. And I just want there to be an outlet for me to share that with you. And not knowing why all of you are here, I can only guess that may possibly be the reason. So this show, I think, will be a great opportunity to answer some of those questions that you may want to have answered directly from me. I know, to start with, some of those questions are going to be things like how to flash NFE silverware, how to configure some of the settings, how do you PID tune something, or how do you come up with the perfect tune or set filters for something. So we've got quite a few topics that we can cover in a series of streams. I like the idea of maybe having some of my fellow pilots on the show, for a tutorial, so that I can talk to someone who actually needs help with a subject, and that interaction may lead to uncovering questions and answers that I wouldn't have thought of if I were just talking at you guys. I like the idea of maybe having some guys just on the show to hang out sometime, just discuss issues and things that are happening in the FPV community, or challenges that we're facing building, or ideas that we have for the future. I think this is also a great outlet for me to keep you guys up to speed on changes that I'm making in firmware or in some of my projects. Sometimes, a couple short comments in a config file are not quite enough to let you get a feel for something that's different. One example is I'm totally rewriting the angle mode algorithm. Angle mode has been neglected since It was created, what, in like the multi-wee days, and the algorithm hasn't changed. And our flying's changed, and our crafts have changed, and what we're doing with them has changed. And I think it's time to question that algorithm and explore new ways of making that perform. So I've got something I'm working on there. That can be another topic for a show. Let's see. I've got one of those USB thingies. I might rip a pack live on the air. Heck, I don't know. Beyond some of these things that I know you guys do want to hear from me, I'm going to be scanning the forums and participating in discussions. And if I think there's a really good topic that's going to be helpful, I'll bring that topic onto this show. My intention for this show is not to dive into high production quality, but more to put the effort into the thoughtfulness of the responses and the information that's there. I think I've made it to what I would call an intermediate stage in this hobby. The reason I say intermediate is I'm well aware of what I don't know at this point, and the things that I want to learn to advance and go further. And so I guess to say I know that there's a lot that I don't know, and I think when you're at that point, you've made it to, if you can accomplish a lot, but you still know that you don't know a lot, you're at the intermediate stage in a hobby. And that bridging the gap from beginner to intermediate is challenging. There's a lot of information and a lot of practice and a lot of studying that has to take place. So I would kind of like to facilitate that journey for some of you guys that are out there, and challenge you to think about things on a little bit higher level. So we're going to look at things mathematically. We're going to look at lines of code. We're going to look at the nuts and bolts of what makes these things fly. And I think you'll find that it's not nearly as confusing and overwhelming as you think it is. I know I certainly thought that magic was happening, and it's really not a lot of magic, and it's some pretty simple math. And it's easy to manipulate that math and make new things happen, create new flight modes and create new algorithms, and just change stuff. And that's what got me hooked on silverware. I had no coding background at all before finding this project, and just started learning, within the environment of a flight controller, and started questioning things. Instead of just flying the modes that were there, let's make new modes, and let's make new decisions, and let's approach things a different way. And I think the results are fun. So I'd like to share that with you guys, and just kind of see where this goes. So if this sounds like something you're into, then join me back on the next stream, and we'll go over how to flash silverware and how to get started with that, and just kind of bounce through some different topics. There may be times I sit down and click stream and don't have a topic, and we just go look for one. There may be times where we just hang out and intentionally don't cover a topic, and just kind of have some fun. So I guess that basically wraps it up for tonight. I will say that these shows will be totally unannounced, so don't feel bad if you don't catch a stream. I'm just going to do this when I have time. Just come sit down in the garage and click stream and go from there. But the videos will all be available to view whenever you want to after the show. So thanks for hanging out, and I hope this is a direction for the channel that you, my subscribers, want me to go in, and that you'll find helpful. Deuces.